And welcome to episode 2 of another one. Another one. We're here to bring you any type of information that we're going to talk about today. We really have no aim, no purpose, no topics. We just come up with stuff on the fly. And hopefully you like it. If you like it, subscribe and you can catch our weekly episodes. If you don't like it, still subscribe so you can listen and then you can talk about our weekly episodes. Hey, any press is good press. So we thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you'll like what we talk about today. So let's start it off. We again are just want to let you know before we start, we actually are missing one person. Um, they are being what you call AKA, what is it, Trey?
A fun sponge.
Yes, we have a fun sponge in our midst who wants to go to sleep instead of being on the show today. So that's fine. But we might have um, a guest host today, which we might call him in. It's a surprise guest host. We'll see what happens. But topic number one, let's go, Kai. What you got for him?
Boy, hi. uh, we can probably just go ahead and talk about the hashtags on Instagram. Hashtags have been big, like they've been pretty big, but like now they're like really big. And so we've had some hashtags that have been happening, like
Let me ask you a question first. Let me ask you a question. Let me brush into this. Well, what is a hashtag? Because a lot of people might not even know what a hashtag is. They see them, but they might not know what it is.
that's sad. A hashtag. Let's let's look up the Google definition.
Just tell us what you know.
Okay, a hashtag is a word or phrase preceded by a hash or pound sign and used to identify
What is happening?
messages on a.
What is happening?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You know what a hashtag is?
What?
What just happened?
We don't know what happened.
Okay, well, anyway, if there's a certain topic that you want to talk about, then you would put a hashtag and then just put it like hashtag amazing food items, and you would have a picture of food or you would talk about food.
And so, yeah,
Okay.
What's the whispering?
yeah.
I have no idea what is going on right now. But somebody just got muted. So keep going.
Oh, well, that's what a hashtag is.
Okay. So then what's the popular hashtags going on right now?
Hashtag growing up black, hashtag growing up white, hashtag lyrics that need to be shouted, and hashtag, oh gosh, hashtag things kids of today will never know. Yeah.
Okay, so what about starting with the hashtag growing up black? I think that will definitely be funny.
Okay, well, we've had some really funny ones that we've been talking about here, but let me just pull up this hashtag. Growing up black. And they have these for all of them, like growing up Mexican, growing up poor.
Growing up Mexican and growing up
Yes.
poor.
Yes, that's exactly what's been happening.
Okay. So give us some instances of maybe growing up black, growing up Mexican, growing up poor.
Growing up black, when you about to throw the rest of your food away and your mom hit you with the kids in Africa speech.
Huh.
The kids in African speech.
Yes, like you need to be appreciative of this food that you got, because the kids in Africa. Who? Oh, boy. All right, apps shutting down. You got growing up black. Plenty of things. Like, just think about everything that would happen in your childhood. That's what's on Twitter right now.
In my childhood,
If you're black.
Uh-huh.
I would consider myself to be so. So
Anybody else heard about some really funny hashtags?
me and hashtags, I'll tell you my story. Me and hashtags, we have a love-hate relationship.
Boy.
I hate to use other people's, and I love to start my own.
What?
That's how we do it around here. So matter of fact, I tweeted something earlier today and put a random hashtag in there. Uh, Basically, I was talking about, you know, our team, Team B's, when we actually go and work out, right? So we worked out on a Saturday, and if you're following me, Rich B's on Instagram, you would definitely see the picture of us working out. We were actually all on um, cycles, bikes, and I used the hashtag "We True to This." Because there are a lot of people out there who, they work out every now and then. They kind of hit the gym. They're thinking about, getting in shape. They say they want their summer body, whatever. Well, Team B's, we work out almost regularly, some of us. And in that working out regularly, when we take pictures, it's because we always do this. And so if you see pictures on there, we're not just on there just long enough to take the picture. We do it because we're true to this. So that's what the hashtag basically is trying to say, that hey, if you click that hashtag, anybody else who said hashtag we true to this, you'll find out the kind of things that they're true to. And they might be social media lying, but we're not. So
That should bring us right on into the next subject.
it does, Kaya. It rolls right into the next subject, Case Whistle. The next subject is going to be health and wellness. Kicking it off, Khadijah RBZ, what you got for us this week?
Well, just do it. I mean,
Does that really deserve claps, though?
yeah, it did, of course. Nike said it best, just do it. And there's no, don't compare yourself to other people and what they're doing, but do what works for you. And I think that that's where a lot of people miss it sometimes. Instead of using maybe another person to motivate, they kind of compare their progress with health and wellness to what other people are doing or not doing. And that's not fair to yourself. It's not fair to who you are. So when I'm doing stuff, I just try to be better than I was the day before. I want to lift heavier. I want to do more reps. I want to run faster or run harder or whatever the case may be, better than what I did the day before. Take baby steps. So, when it comes to health and fitness, just take it one day at a time and be the best you that you can be. Be true to you. That's good for life in general, though.
It is. In all things.
Yeah.
Right.
Genau.
At Dynamic Works, I was talking to a client, and I kind of said the same thing to them. Whenever I come into a event or somebody's production or whatever, I try to tell them, like, it's always good to be the best production team that you can be for your current situation. It's not about trying to put somebody else's production in your production. It's about you being the best you can be. Because if you don't do all this, guitar type music, with a lot of lead guitars and stuff, then why would you, set your system up as somebody else who does do that? So I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense to try to be something that you're actually not, because it comes across as being fake.
Well, you know what? I think the unfortunate thing is a lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know, or they haven't quite figured out where their place is. And so in trying to figure it out, they go through different things, good different waves, good, bad, whatever the case may be. They go through these different things. Now, I do feel like you know what feels right for you and what does not feel right for you. And when you're walking or you're operating in a functionality that you have to make it fit or you have to make it work, it just doesn't flow with who you are, then that ain't the right thing for you to be doing.
Right. It should come naturally.
Right.
And I
That's
think
like I'm not a oh, let me see what I'm not.
what are you not?
Well, I'm not the photo operator. Not photo operator. I'm not the photographer. I'm not the person. Can I take a picture? Can I take a iPhone and snap a picture? Yes, I can. Can I take a camera and snap a picture? Yes, I can. But am I the photographer? Do I have that creative eye like Rich Bees? No. And so I wouldn't want to walk that out because I know that's not my lane. I know that's not my area. But do I feel like I'm, doing what I need to do when I'm talking about health and fitness? Yes, I am. When I'm talking to somebody about their gut and how important it is for it to be clean in order for it to look lean, oh yeah, I get hyped up and geeked up about that. But I know that maybe for Rich Bees, he might not want to sit there and talk to somebody about their poop. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. That is definitely not what I want to talk about.
But I don't mind because it's important. It's important, and because most people don't have somebody that they can talk to about it, they don't talk. And for that reason, you have people who are sitting around sick and tired, literally, because they need to talk to somebody about their poop. So you want to talk about poop? Hit me up.
That's right. Hit her up on social media about your gut and your poop. That's Khadijah RBZ.
So crazy.
HADIJAH Catch her on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Talk about your poop. She'll love that. Anyway.
I don't know about love it, but I'll help you out.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. You said something key the other day, Khadijah, when you said that when people are working out, right? There's some people who in certain areas of their body ends up gaining muscle faster than other people. Is there can you explain that a little more? If you remember what our conversation started out talking about?
Well, one of the main things that we have to keep in mind is genetics plays a part in our bodies. So some people genetically gain muscle in certain areas faster or quicker than others. And then if you are working a particular area more than others, then okay, you might gain more there. And I think that's why it's important to look at your body holistically and work it all so that you are even throughout versus, just trying to spot. Now, that brings me to something that people say all the time, and this is just something that I've been like, ugh, because people are like, what can I do to lose my belly? I just want to lose my belly. Well, there's not anything that you can do to just get rid of belly fat. Because the thing about it is, if you're working out, you're doing cardio, you're doing high impact exercises, you're eating right, because truth of the matter, what you eat and what you put in your body matters a whole lot more than how many reps of an exercise you do, how many crunches you do are to no avail if you're eating junk, every day. But
so
right, that's what gets on my nerves. They want to change, but they won't want to let go of that fried chicken they eat every Sunday.
Well,
Ooh.
yeah, Kai, you right about that, K Swizzle.
So what you're saying though is the biggest thing that they can do to lose weight or to become healthy, right, is to change the way they eat first.
Yes.
Before
yes.
you even start working out, the very
Yes.
first thing you need to do is change the way that you eat and what you intake.
Yes, that's very important.
Now, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll go back to when I made a conscious decision to change what I was eating, because of course people say all the time, well, just change what you eat. People go on diets, they do this, that, and the third. Well, my thing was, okay, if I change what I'm eating, how is that going to change me? And how soon can I begin to see a difference? So this is 2015. It was in 2013 I decided that I was going to eliminate certain foods from my diet. So I stopped eating bread. I stopped eating white sugar, white flour, white potatoes, white rice, all of these things I eliminated from my diet for 90 days. And in 90 days, I lost 25 pounds. I wasn't doing any extra working out. I wasn't doing anything additional from a physical perspective. I just changed the food that I eat, well, that I was eating. And I saw a
Wow.
drastic difference because it is so important to eat clean. Stop eating processed foods, stop eating junk, stop eating fried foods, and eat foods that are whole and living. And that's how you can begin to see a change, not just from a weight perspective, but just from how your body functions.
And
What
I
are
will concur with that because, in my change, which I started in January, really with a drastic change in my diet, you know,
Yes, you
and
did. And I appreciate your support.
oh, well, in that first month, I literally lost 25 pounds. And I don't even think we started really working out. I don't even
Now,
think that we started really
mm-mm,
working out during that time frame.
nope,
Not in January.
nope.
But by the end of January, I was 25 pounds lighter. And then as we started to incorporate a lot of exercise in February, I dropped more weight.
Yeah.
So I think that, obviously what you're saying is correct because we've done it. We're testaments to it. And I think a lot of our listeners need to, at least try it, But if you're going to try it, don't have Stephanie like, well, I'll go ahead and eat a pizza today, or I'm going to go ahead and, eat this bag of potato chips while I'm watching this movie or whatever. Really, like, try it, like really go, and then you'll see that change, over that, first month actually, because I think the first month, and correct me if I'm wrong, Khadijah or Beast, could correct me if
Ooh,
I'm wrong,
ooh. Uh-oh.
if
Whoa.
if they if they do these changes over that first month, then usually in that first month is when they'll see a drastic change in their weight.
Yeah.
But what did you switch out some of those? What were your substitutes for white
Yeah,
bread,
that's a great question.
etc.?
That's good. Well, to be honest with you, Trey BZ, when I eliminated bread, I eliminated bread. I didn't eat bread at all. So in 2013, from January to August, I didn't eat bread, period. Um, Now, for some people, it may be a matter of substituting regular bread for maybe gluten-free bread, or a bread that I think is very, very good is Ezekiel bread. It's full of whole grains and sprouts. That's very good for your system. Gives you a good amount of fiber. Not a lot of empty calories. As far as white rice is concerned, I started eating brown rice. Now I don't. At that time, I didn't eat brown rice regularly, but that was a substitute. Potatoes in 2013, I wasn't eating them. So when I stopped eating them, I stopped eating them. As far as sugar is concerned, instead of using white sugar, for instance, if I had coffee, I would use either sugar in the raw or honey. And when baking, using either sugar in the raw or agave. Um, you find substitutes. You can even sweeten things with bananas, depending upon what it's calling for. If you want to make a smoothie, don't put a whole bunch of sugar and syrup and all that kind of stuff in it. Use a banana. It's real simple. Sweeten it with fruits, and you'll have a better outcome. But that was a very good question. Now, what I would be interested to know is we've made such drastic changes in the way that we eat because now we don't eat meat at all. Um, we're what you would call pescatarians because we do eat seafood. Although we don't eat seafood every day, we do partake in seafood. So we're pescatarians. We eat primarily fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts for some of us. And we do not eat eggs. We don't eat dairy. We don't drink cow milk. We drink like rice milk and almond milk, cashew milk, things like that, nut milks. But I would be interested to know how this has affected the kids, like, because it's something that they've had to adjust to also. Now, for adults, it might be a little easier, but when you're looking at kids and you're saying, okay, well, we're not going to have this chicken sandwich or this turkey burger, and you're used to having a turkey burger, how do you adjust to that? Or has that been difficult for you? Do you even notice a difference in your body and how you feel?
Um,
Well, I can tell I've gotten more fit. I can see the gains. I can see the gains.
Oh, okay.
um, for me, I think it's helped more with my digestion because, I would feel fine before, but when I felt bad, I would feel really bad, and it would be for extended periods of time. And now I like don't even like feel those anymore. If my stomach hurts, my stomach will hurt for one day or like a short time in that one day, but it's never. It's like I feel like that food was causing the problems I was having,
Mhm.
and since we eliminated them, I feel so. I feel clean
Yeah.
on the inside.
Well, let me ask you this though: is this it now? For our viewers, because they might not know us, they might not deal with us on a normal basis, they might never meet us. So the question here is: are we putting you up to it? Are we telling you that, hey, if you do this, then you'll be this?
What do you mean?
Like the way that you're answering these questions, is this something that you have experienced for yourself, and or was it something that we're telling you, hey, say that you'll feel this way or something like that?
No, I
No.
feel this way. What? Like, I
Well, what
don't.
I'll say
I
for
don't think my
client. Well,
parents would
I'm sorry.
ever. I don't think my parents would ever put me up to that and tell me to say I feel some type of way about something. So,
Well, what I will say for excuse me, Kate Swizzle, is that she would have um problems with her digestion, and her stomach. She would complain of stomach problems regularly, and she would be in pain literally.
From all
And,
that
and
bread.
well, yeah,
it's my
but
favorite food.
that wasn't. It wasn't just limited to that, and her symptoms were kind of reminiscent of irritable bowel syndrome. And what I've learned from my research and my
What
study
is that? Oh, sorry.
is that when you're dealing with these type of issues, it all goes back to what you're putting in your body. We've done cleanses, um, we've changed, what we eat and what we drink, and that has been very, very key in changing how we feel. It's not like we just woke up one day and said, okay, we're gonna stop eating meat. That wasn't the case. It was a well thought out process. It was being educated, because Rich and I, we took a class and we learned some things that I don't think that going into that class either one of us knew. And it was helpful because I've always said that I wanted to be a vegetarian. However, there were certain things that I didn't want to let go of, and chicken was one of them. And anybody who knows me
That's right.
would know that I love buffalo strips, buffalo wings. I love wings. So to make a decision to give that up, it was something that was a little bit drastic, but I saw the long term and the outcome, the other end of it being worth it. So, I'm saving a chicken's life and I'm saving mine.
Yeah, chicken.
You saving yourself.
That's right. But the chicken too.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing that I definitely say, in reference to this topic that we're on, is that you're worth it. If you're
Yes.
listening to this show, you're hearing what we're talking about, you're definitely worth it.
Yes.
There's people who don't live long and don't ever have the knowledge that it's what they're eating because I was talking to a gentleman on today actually, and he was totally surprised at the fact that just changing the way that you eat can and will change the attitudes that go on in your house, because that we've experienced that. Once we changed the way that we ate, people started acting different. Like your whole demeanor changes, because you actually start feeling good in yourself. You don't even know why. Like some people take allergy pills every day, and if you're listening, you might say, hey, I take an allergy pill every day. Well, now I don't. And it's because my body's not getting totally beat up all the time with taking in things that I'm allergic to. And then on top of that, you got the pollen and all that kind of stuff, in the spring and summer months. So now I'm happy. I feel better, in myself, energetic, ready to go, have some fun. So I would definitely say to, check that out. Go to the doctor, get an allergy test, see what you're allergic to. And then on top of that, make a change. Take out the oils out your diet, and do a couple of other things that like Khadija RBZ just said, and then you will definitely feel better. You will feel better. And then you may want to get up off that couch and start moving in the gym or going out for a walk and stuff like that. But change that diet first, because if you're just laying around and you're hearing this, then now it's time to make a change.
But also, we're not trying to guilt trip you into it doing it. That's not what we're trying to get across over here.
No, not at all. I wanna make a change for once in my life.
Well, I don't think this is the karaoke show, but thank you for your rendition.
No, but seriously, I do agree with Trey. It's not about a guilt trip. It's about knowing, like Rich said, that you're worth it. You're worth living a life that is quality.
And you
Go ahead.
have to want to make that change for yourself.
That's right. Not anybody else. That's right.
It's like the quote about bringing the camel to the water, but you can't make him drink or something.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, it is.
We can give you the weights. We can give you all the information, but if you don't do it, we can't help you.
You're exactly right.
That's right.
Swizzle.
But in the mode to help you.
Get all.
We want to help you to understand this politics a little better.
Oh, boy.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on out here in the world, and a lot of stuff is attributed to the people themselves not standing up and getting the people in office that need to be in office, that make the decisions that are equal to the way that we think. So
the people that'll fight for your rights.
You know what I'm saying?
What in the world?
Some people may want to get their rights fought for to party. There was a song out back in the day. I know y'all know about that. Fight for your right to party. If you never heard of it, it's because you're not old enough. Grow up.
Oh.
Anyway. So you might want to go ahead and, listen to this. We have politics by a 12-year-old.
I'll run this. Okay, so before I just go into what I'm going to talk about, I just have a quick little video to show you. It's just going to be real quick. Yeah.
All right, run it.
Okay, glad you want to run it.
Yunge. I can barely hear it.
Next year. And so we're moving just so she can belong to a better school.
Mi hermana y yo estamos empezando un primer negocio.
After 5 years of raising my children, I am now going back to work. Every day we're trying to get more ready and more prepared.
Big boy.
Right now, I find a job it's a look into the real world of my college.
Getting married this summer. Someone I really care about.
I'm gonna be in a play. I'm gonna be in a fish costume.
I'm getting ready to retire soon. Retirement means freedom to get yourself in many ways.
Well, we've been doing a lot of home renovations.
But most importantly, we really just want to teach our dog to quit eating the trash.
And so we have high goals for 2015. That's going to happen.
I started a new career recently. This is a fifth generation company, which means a lot to me. This country was founded on hard work, and it really feels good to be part of that. I'm getting ready to do something too. I'm running for president. Americans have fought their way back from tough economic times, but the deck is still stacked in favor of those at the top. Every day Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion. So you can do more than just get by. You can get ahead and stay ahead, because when families are strong, America is strong. So I'm hitting the road to earn your vote, because it's your time, and I hope you'll join me on this journey.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Let me
Yeah.
just let you know.
So,
Hey, let me tell you something.
okay, so basically,
No, sir. Hey, here's what I'm gonna say. I apologize to everybody listening for this video, because this was a last minute entry, and I don't take too kindly to whack quality production.
Neither do I.
So I say this. We definitely apologize for that video that keeps on trying to play. And we also do not, we're definitely not the type of show that puts our, what do you call it? What would you call it? Our funds or thought processes into one specific candidate, on air for you all to be biased in your choice. We just state what we see going on. But this is the kind of thing that happens when you deal with politics from a 12-year-old.
Oh gosh.
hey, it wasn't my fault. I thought it was gonna work.
Okay. Well, what you got going on for us?
What was the point of all that?
Okay, so it's basically what? What was that? Whose video?
Okay.
But okay, so Hillary Clinton, just in case you didn't know, announced that Hillary Clinton,
Okay.
related to Bill Clinton.
Okay.
She announced that she would be running for president.
Mhm.
So what do you guys think about her running for president? Let's start off with that.
Well, that's her prerogative. That's what she want to do.
I mean, I think I said this last week that,
Yep.
I think people think about voting for Hillary because
She's a female.
because she's
Bill Clinton's wife.
the wife of Bill Clinton. And people think that it's going to be the same way it was when Bill Clinton was in. However, it's the same thing as me and my wife. I mean, she just said earlier that she's not the type to take a professional picture. She could take a picture, but she doesn't have that eye.
Mm-mm.
So it's not any downplay on her, but that's just not her thing.
Right.
Okay. So if Hillary Clinton gets in the race and everybody votes for her, she becomes president. Well, we all know that Bill Clinton did a great job. A lot of people will say that, no matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. People will say, or independent. People will still say that Bill Clinton did a great job as a president of the United States. And he did. So, with that being said, do you sit here and say that Hillary Clinton is going to give you that same thing?
Well, it depends, because also, some of the things, not trying to make this sexist or anything, but some of the things a male might do will be different from like the things a female would do. So let's say like a male says guns are allowed, and then a female says, but a female says they're not allowed. because, let's say, children and stuff. That also has to do with opinion, but it's higher of them saying no guns because of most females wouldn't want guns in that country because they know it takes away a lot of lives, which is like a good point, but that would make it different from a male and a female running for president
Well, you
and
know
being
what,
able to make those kinds of decisions. What'd you say?
well, you know what they say. They say guns don't kill people.
People kill people.
There you go. So I mean, I do understand what you're saying, but it's also, a lot of males out there that believe the same thing, that, people shouldn't have guns, but I also think that it's kind of targeted, you know, that certain types or certain groups or certain races of people shouldn't have guns.
Mm?
Because, if you have a minority group, be it black, be it Mexican, be it Asian or whatever, walking down the street with a shotgun, rifle, whatever, some kind of assault rifle, right? It doesn't have to be a fully automatic because those are illegal anyway. But to say it's a semi-automatic or whatever like that, or it might be just a one shot, right? Anyway, walking down the street, minority with a weapon, it could be a little pea shooter, and you'll get a different response than a person that is not a minority with that same weapon.
That's true.
So, does that mean that we should stop all people from having weapons?
Not particularly.
From what I remember, the not the Declaration of Independence, but your Bill of Rights, basically
We have the right to bear arms.
you have the right to bear arms.
Constitution.
Constitution, that's what I'm looking for. The constitutional right to bear arms. So if you have the constitutional right to bear arms and all men are created equal, then that means that all men should have the right to bear arms.
Yeah, well, Rich Bees, this brings us back to a conversation that you and I had, and yes, it was offline, but although the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, what is it, the Declaration of Independence? Yes, that says that all men are created equal. All men, they acknowledge, and I do believe that our forefathers, realized that, yes, God did create all men equal. However, our government, our society, does not treat all people equally. So while they acknowledge that we were created equally, I do not feel that, or I do not think, from my observation, it does not appear that all men are treated equally. So with that being said, one person may have the right or may be able to exercise their right to bear arms and it be no big deal, but another person may not have that same luxury, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality. And that's even if it's that person takes the necessary steps to, obtain it the proper way.
And you hit that one right in the money.
Oh, not the money.
You know what though? That leads me to the next topic, really.
Oh.
Because the next topic
Go ahead and run that.
was going to be the news.
The news.
And in the news, what I saw,
I feel like we're talking about the news.
we were talking about politics, which is still news, but it's a different angle on the news. So in the news, though, I saw a video of a black woman who got pulled over in her SUV, and there was some people that saw this person getting pulled over, and when she got pulled over, she got manhandled, thrown to the ground, and she basically got slammed on her head, right? The police officer slammed on her head. This is in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. And basically what she said to the police officer while she was down on the ground, I can't hear right now. You didn't have to slam me. I can't hear, right? Well, they carted her up or whatever because she failed to put on a turn signal to make a turn, okay? She didn't use her turn signal to make a turn or change lanes, one of the two. And so they took her to jail, okay? They took her to jail, and while she was in jail, she died.
Wow.
Okay? Now, They said that she died from self-asphyxiation.
Like she killed herself.
She choked herself.
Exactly. But she has
Alright.
been on social media on
Yeah.
a normal basis talking about Black Lives Matter and this, that, or the third. Okay? So all about, being pro-black, if you will. And she ends up getting pulled over, and it happening to her. So people having that right is what was said. People having that right, like, I don't even feel at this point that certain people, classes of people, races of people have the right to even say anything to an officer, even if they were in the right for whatever was going on. Now, she may have been in the wrong for not using a turn signal, but if you question an officer, does that mean that you're supposed to get manhandled for it?
Not at all.
Right, because you have the right to state your rights.
Yeah.
Just like they have the right to state your rights.
They have the right to tell you what they're pulling you for. They're supposed to be able to, enforce the law, but that is an abuse of power if you just start manhandling people because they didn't turn on their turn signal.
Right.
That's
But
excessive.
is that even a reason to arrest somebody?
Well, that is a reason to pull somebody.
Oh.
But I mean, I think exactly now, yeah, you shouldn't be arrested for it, obviously, unless they pull you, get your license, and realize your license is revoked, or you have some other past tickets or whatever. Then they can arrest you. But I don't think that pulling somebody, and we can look it up or whatever, But I think that pulling somebody definitely doesn't get. I mean, for not failing to use a turn signal is gonna actually get you arrested.
Mm.
But they also said that she hit or struck a police officer, an officer of the law. That's what they said. So, I mean, to me right now, this is a funny situation that, the world is in, at least in the United States, where we deal with this regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Regularly. It's abuse of power. It's targeting. It's, looking for a certain type of person to do a certain type of response, and when they do that response, they respond a certain type of way, which is usually excessive, for the crime, if you will. So, I think right now a lot of people, the problem here is twofold. One fold is the church is not standing up to be that voice, or even praying, and for the people. And then you have the other fold is the politicians who we have elected to come in office aren't standing up for the rights of the people.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're missing it in two ways, and I don't think nobody is really taking heed to this, And I don't need it to be Trey Bees or K Swizzle or Love Kalia that this happens to,
Right.
or even Khadijah RBZ, because the lady was grown. It wasn't like she was a child,
Yeah.
Or myself. I don't need it to happen to any of us,
Well, you know what I think is really important? I really think that it's important for people to realize the value that they have. Even, when we talked about health and saying that you are worth it, the thing about it is, and we've got to keep this in perspective, each and every one of us has value. We are so valuable that our Heavenly Father sent His one and only Son to die for us so that we could be free from sin and death. And I think that until we really get an understanding of the worth of that, we'll continue to make careless decisions and careless choices because we do not realize the value that we have. Now, that value,
one person, just
right?
person, just
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah. Because you, and this is for illustration purposes only, you may not realize my worth. You may not understand that. And because of that, you may treat me a certain way. But if I know that I am so valuable to my Heavenly Father that He gave something that was so precious so that I would not be stuck, or I wouldn't have to live a life of just foolishness, then I won't be so wrapped up in how you treat me. Do you see what I'm saying? It's because I don't realize my value that I let what someone else does or doesn't do affect me in a negative manner.
Now,
And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I really, really think that it's so important for us to realize our value. I try to tell our kids all the time that they're important and that they're special. But truth of the matter is, okay, I can tell them that all day. But until they fully understand that and until they fully know that for themselves, they may do reckless things because they feel like, well, I don't even matter. And unfortunately, I feel that a lot of kids are being raised with a reckless mentality, not realizing how valuable they are. And for that reason, they'll do things and they'll say things, and it's because they don't know who they are. It's because they don't know how valuable they are. They don't know their worth. Nobody ever told them. Nobody ever expressed to them that there is a Jesus who loves them without limits and without bounds and without constraints, and who wants to see them grow and be the best that our Heavenly Father created them to be.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you talk about value, I talked to a guy the other day, and he was talking about, the fact that he never voted until he was almost 40 something.
Wow.
Like, because he said that one person's vote doesn't matter.
Wow.
And that was not like, before Obama ran. That was like the other day. They said that, he said that the first time he voted was for Obama. But the point to me was, like, every vote matters. Every vote. People can win or lose. I mean, think about it, okay? I think about the fact of water, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have water comes to a boil at about 102 degrees.
Okay.
Right? Something
Can
like
we quote you on that?
It's something right there. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But it's around about 102 degrees. And 103 degrees, it turns to steam.
Okay.
Okay? So it's only 1 degree to change a situation, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay? Or even to change form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if it's just 1 degree that does that, then one vote can do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
If you have, it could be a neck and neck race, right? Between good and bad. Let's say that. Let's say between good and evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what you're voting on every time.
Yeah, the lesser of the two evils.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
So I mean, one vote though can help you get the lesser of the two. And if it's really that bad, then nominate or put your money where your mouth is and get somebody to run that is good instead of it being the lesser of the two evils.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But as a community, what it looks like is a lot of people won't even back anybody. They won't back them. They rather put their money into people who are already running and who are already, part of a failed system. They're not looking to change it.
Mhm.
Because if we're really trying to change the way that things are done, then we'll vote for people who are looking to change it. And the reason why people, go or be a part of or become one of these people of the lesser evils, or even go toward the wrong side, if it's somebody who doesn't do what's correct for the people or follow what the people are saying. The reason why they do those things, like even putting GMOs in food and all that kind of stuff, is because,
And that's a whole nother topic.
right, it's because they are trying to get money.
Right.
They're trying to get money, and the people who will back them to win these offices are people who have the money, and the people who have the money are people who want their agenda to go. So why can't we back the people who we feel can make it and have our agenda? Because they're going to have the agenda of the people who fund them. So if you're not putting in money into these races to people who, even if it's $1, I mean, it's still better than no money or no time, because that's another thing. You can go and actually volunteer for your candidate, right? You can volunteer for your candidate and help them by putting up their posters, putting up their signs, talk to people, tell them to vote, get them to understand who your candidate is and what they're about, But if you're just sitting back and you're like, okay, well, whoever runs, I'm just going to see who it is and then vote for them, then you're not being proactive. You're not actually trying to change the problem. You're not being an active participant in your rights. And when you become an active participant in your rights, then what happens is it spills over to not getting pulled over on some humbug.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, people don't address the root cause. And on this show, what we do is we figure out what that root cause is and we address that.
Mm.
And the root cause is the fact that people aren't standing up for what they believe in. So I'm not going to bang your head over a brick wall about this, but I am going to just let you know that you need to stand up for what you believe in. Get out there, stand up, find your candidate, push them, because you got to remember that just because you're black doesn't mean that you have to be a Democrat. Just because you're white doesn't mean you have to be a Republican. And just because you're free and you like to just tay in the wind and all that kind of stuff, doesn't mean you're independent. Find out what these people are for and what these people are against, and vote for the person that has the same beliefs as you. If they're flip-floppy, then they can't be trusted. You find some person that stands on your same values, that always stands on your values and continues to stand on your values. And when you do that, then you're voting for the person to you that has the best character and the best chance to see that the things that you believe in get accomplished when they get in office. And that doesn't matter whether you're voting for a PTA or whether you're voting for the president.
There's some raw nuggets. There's some nuggets here.
So as this episode
Dropping all the great nuggets.
As this episode comes to a close, we want to acknowledge, our sponsor, DynamicWorks.com. The quality you deserve, period. So make sure that you go to DynamicWorks, and get you a photo shoot done. Get you some pictures. Get a video shoot done. If you have anything, flyers, graphics, logo design that needs to get done, they can definitely help you out. But until next time, on another episode, make sure that you're always always, and I mean always, paying
Well,
attention to the fruits. The
we got
fruits
one more thing to say though.
of what you see and who is doing it. What's
This
the last-
episode was brought to you by Dynamic Works. This episode of another one was brought to you by Dynamic Works for all your photo services and needs.
That's what he just said.
We appreciate that. You can cash in.
Okay.
Good evening, RBZ. You have anything to say?
Whoa. Remember that you deserve to, well, maybe not deserve. You are worth a quality life and know your value through Jesus Christ.
Slow clap.
All right. Case Wizzle, anything?
Alright, I am K Swizzle. Location, no thought zone.
Oh. Lord.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Trey BZ?
What?
Trey BZ, anything?
Go check out my YouTube channel. www.youtube.com/TREBZG.
All right. We thank y'all for watching. Thank you for listening. And make sure you make a change in your life.
For once in my life.
Alright.
And we're out from another one.
Another one!
Comes to winning.